Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Photopeeps with myself, Daniel, Big D, and we've got a special guest today, Mr. Nigel Thomas.
Evening all.
Evening all. Nigel.
Good evening, Nigel. How are you?
Not too bad, thank you. You guys keeping okay?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah. Have you survived all the storms down in Wales?
Yes, it's been, it's been pretty rough. 90 mile an hour winds plus and trees down, but we're okay at home. And all the family is as well, yeah, so that's the most important.
You're near the coast then, Nigel, are you more mainland?
Yeah, I can put my feet in the water in a 15-minute walk.
Right, so you're pretty close to there. So you're getting the brunt of it then?
Yeah, it's been pretty rough, I think, right down in West Wales. The further west you were, the worse it was, I think.
Am I right in thinking you had more hair yesterday?
From putting his wheelie bin out this morning.
Toupee's gone.
We almost put the wheelie bins out.
It's all down to that shampoo I was using in the 80s. I started using Wash and Go, and it wash and went.
Well, as you can tell, peeps, you're in for a good night tonight. So, as we ask all us guests, where did photography start with you, Nigel?
Well, originally, back in the dabbled with a little bit in photography club in school. I then sort of disappeared from it for 30 years or so. And in the 90s, I got myself a nice camera, started doing we had young kids at the time, so I ended up doing portraits of our kids, friends, children, and that led into people in work asking me to do weddings. So I ended up in about 2 years, did about 35 weddings. But then my proper job sort of took me away with traveling. I was traveling the best part of 150 mile a day, round trip for work. So weekends, there's no way I could have done a wedding then. It was precious time with the family, really. So it was a 20-year gap then.
Yeah, a bit like myself. Mine was a big gap as well.
2018, then I started back and went totally different the other way into landscapes.
So did something happen in 2018 that you thought, right, I need to get that camera back in my hand? Did something click or?
No, what happened, Daniel, is in 2015, I had a severe mental health breakdown. And for 2.5 years, I hardly left the house. Only for appointments, really, and occasionally out for a walk with some friends and things. But in 2018, I found an old point and shoot in one of my drawers I was going through. We used to take it on holidays, that's all. And I thought, I wonder if this would help me getting out, walking, taking a camera with me. And so it started from that. Within a couple of months, I bought an 80D Canon. And it all started from there. For 3 to 6 months, I was questioning, what the hell am I doing? Going out for a walk, trying to look for pictures. But something clicked after 3 to 6 months, and I haven't looked back since. I love it.
Brilliant. So did the photography help towards the mental health kind of recovery, if you like?
Yes. I still struggle to get out of the house. If I'm meeting people, it's easier. Because I don't like letting people down, but very much it has become my therapy. I find once you get out on location, you start setting up. Even if 4 of us went out or 5 of us went out tomorrow, you'll have a natter and a bit of banter, a bit of a joke. Yeah. But once you get behind the camera, it's as if you're on your own anyway.
Yes, it is. Yeah. But you've got the people around you though to bounce off as well, haven't you?
Yeah. We've done a fair bit of each other.
Yeah. You mentioned mental health and your photography. You've actually done a book as well about this as well, haven't you, Nigel?
Yes. It's available on Blurb. Oh, I can't even think of the name of it now.
What was it? My Therapy? Landscape photography, My Therapy? But what we'll do, we'll get the link off Nigel and we'll put the link below as well.
Finding calm in the chaos.
Yeah, we'll leave a link in the description.
You can see how popular it's been. It's been out 2 years. It's only sold about 15.
Hopefully, we'll get a few more for you after this.
That's 15 people helped though.
Exactly, and it is for mine charity as well. So it is for a good cause.
A stocking filler.
Yeah. Yeah, I think. Do you know what? Actually, I think if you get the link off Darren, I think I'll probably get one myself. Actually, being like the reason for behind it and everything.
I recommend the PDF copy. You can buy it in soft cover as well, but the PDF for me, reading it on a tablet or something, the pictures are, really nice.
For me, I like to have a physical book in my hand sometimes. I do like to have a physical book in my hand.
Yeah, I prefer that. Yeah.
Yeah, I do like reading online, on tablets, on phones, but to have a physical book in your hand, something you could put on your desk,
Yeah, you can't beat that. But I think the vibrancy on the pictures you see, and that compared to blurbs, photo quality, there is a difference.
Yeah, like I said, we'll get the link off Daz. We'll put it in the description below, and I, for one, will be a better one.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
So, and on that note, Nigel, what we'll do, because you're by the sea, your go-to photography is more or less seascapes, isn't it?
Yeah, I've become a bit of a coastal person, really. And in 2022, I had a heart attack, so I can't climb the hills like I used to. So, yeah, I'm happy finding a fairly easy access location and get down on the beach.
You can't beat a bit of beach, can you? What we'll do, we'll share some of your images now, and you can
Okay.
talk us through them if you like. So here we go.
Okay, that one's from earlier on this year. Me and Coralie, my wife, we were out for a day down in Pembrokeshire, and that's at St Bride's Haven. Beautiful place. It was reasonably quiet that day, probably not as quiet as it looks in the photo because I clambered over some rocks. But it's a stunning little place, and plenty of places there to find peace. I love the rocks, the seaweed, the little pools you can find, and yeah, it's just a lovely place to
This
go
image
for the
just
day.
brings peace and tranquility, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Tones, everything you've got.
I think the noise of the sea, it's so calming. I like the sea. I do like being across the sea. So,
And that's what I get in my photography. Like, I look to capture peace in my images because that's what photography has given me. And when other people can see it, that's the biggest win for me.
It is. It's a lovely, peaceful image. What's the island or a group of rocks in the distance?
I'm going to disappoint you now because I don't know. I could have taken a guess, but I'm not going to.
But that just adds something else, and it gives that big scale of depth and everything to the image.
Yeah. You never said you're going to ask me hard questions.
Have you tried turning it black and white?
Not that one, no.
Possibility, yeah.
Yeah, I do look.
Gives it a different,
It'll be done by 12 o'clock tomorrow.
just gives it a different dynamic, I think, doesn't it? The black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do enjoy black and white as well, even though I think the photos you've had were mostly coloured, Darren. Yeah, the ones I sent through.
But yeah.
Right. I do enjoy black and white as well.
So right, let's go to this one. Another fantastic seascape.
That's a lovely one.
Well, that one now, you won't believe that I haven't walked more than 5 minutes from where the van is parked up.
Oh.
It's a very remote place. You're down some country lanes on the North Pembrokeshire coast. That's Caibur Bay near a place called Molly Grove. And there isn't even a car park for it. There's just some man-made, really. They're not labours as such, but there's some pull-ins on the verge of the road for about 6 or 8 vehicles.
Right.
And then you walk a few hundred metres, you've got this view in one direction, and just by turning 180 degrees, you've got an amazing view in the other direction. And this particular photo is special for me. It's from 2021, I think. but it's what Coralie wanted up on the
Oh yeah,
living room wall. So it's quite a special print because we've been married 40 years. I couldn't even pick a wallpaper, but she's now picked
right.
a print to go on the wall. So that's
Oh,
amazing.
nice. And you
Yeah.
can tell why she wanted this one. It's
That's
absolutely
nice.
stunning.
It's well balanced. That little bit on the bottom right hand side
Yeah.
just gives it that balance. Otherwise, it could be left hand side heavy, I think.
Yeah.
But that is it's
Yes.
really
Yeah.
really well balanced image. That I really like that.
And just that island bang in the middle, just that
Yeah.
bit of rock there.
Mm,
And again,
nice.
Yeah, it would have been ideal if the one which is sort of touching the headland, if there was a bit of clearance in that,
Yeah.
but it was impossible.
do you always tend to go for long exposures, Nigel? Is that your go-to?
I do love my long exposures. I wouldn't say I do them exclusively, but again, it'd be interesting to see what I've sent through to you. Probably most of them will be long exposures.
Yeah.
Again, I find what I like with long exposures, I just enjoy absorbing the scene when the camera is doing the work. So if that was a minute shutter time, for example, I'm just enjoying watching time going by and just loving being
And
there.
I bet the sounds crashing against them rocks and stuff were just soothing
Brilliant.
away.
Brilliant.
Oh yeah,
Really is nice.
yeah.
So was this a sunrise or sunset or just a normal?
That's late afternoon on a
Yeah.
summer's day. Yeah, so I think it's probably better for sunset. Sorry, but it depends on the time of year.
Yeah.
Because something again, photography has taught me in the winter and the summer, the sun rises and sets 90-degree different positions.
It can be you think, oh, I'll come back to that later on, and you think, oh wait, it's sunsetting now.
Yeah,
Well, I think I think everyone's done that at some stage or other, haven't they?
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we're going to be treated to some very special images along this,
Wow,
and this is one of them.
That is stunning.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Stunning.
Now that was very much after the sun had gone down, so it's an evening shot back in middle of summer-ish. Me and Corey a day out again, just me and the wife, and we were blessed with this amazing sky that night. And I do love both in the morning and in the night capturing the time either before sunrise or after sunset. I think it almost gives you something nicer in a way.
You get a bit more subtle colour, don't you? And this, I mean, everything on this, that sea with the purple hues in the sea and everything.
I just like how that foreground as well is bang centre in the middle. If you look at either side of the image, you've got something either side of it, and it's like an arc, like a half circle, if you like. That just leads you in nicely, I think. Really, really nice, that. I really like that one.
Did you spend quite a bit of time on this one, Nigel? Because you got the separation as well, haven't you? From that next island in the middle.
On the composition, I wouldn't say too much time because I've probably got about 10 nice images from that evening. So, this one was probably one of the last images of the evening, I think. So, I would have set up and, there's just a little bit of clearance where the water's coming through between the island there.
That's preparation.
I think that's key to it.
I do try and I do try and look for things like that, but I'm very much not the perfectionist. If it looks good to me on the back of the camera, and when I get home, usually, I'm happy with it, and I share most of my work anyway. I don't get many, amazing shots, but I get lots that give me a lot of joy.
That's debatable.
And I found, sharing images as well. It's amazing. Like, I'm not too bothered about competitions. I will enter camera club competitions now and again, but the most rewarding thing is when you shared a photo, shared it on Facebook, and then somebody you don't even know. I had a message a couple of years ago from a lady, and she said, "I love that photo. It's where me and my late husband used to go 30 years ago."
Yeah,
and that's just the most rewarding thing
Yeah,
ever.
'cause they've
I
taken the
think,
time out, haven't they, to send you that message as well.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
brought back nice memories for her as well.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
this is a stunner. And if you like lighthouses, everyone, this one,
That's the same place, and we went there, believe it or not, for another sunset.
this
That
is
didn't
But it
happen.
wasn't going to. Probably 30 minutes before they shot, there was blue skies, and this mist just started coming in, and it just wasn't going to happen, and we just waited it out. Fortunately, the light came on as well. I don't think it's on 24 hours there, but it's on pretty much throughout the mornings and the night. It may be on 24 hours. I'm not sure, to be honest with you. But it ended up as something which isn't not my normal type of photography, but something that's different and gives you a different feeling in its
I
own
think the
way.
fog and the atmosphere in this just makes it, especially with that light as well on the lighthouse.
I think that'd work well in black and white as well, actually. That one. Definitely.
I haven't tried that in black and white.
Nice.
Yeah.
But I do like
different from the others, a lot different from the others.
It's amazing, isn't it? The same location, just at different angles.
Yeah.
You've got totally different
Yeah.
compositions.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. And this is totally different for you, Nigel.
It is. Well, again, this is a place called Pencloud, which is on the North Gower coast, and it's probably about 30-40 minute drive from where we live. And where this boat is, it's normally on the land. If you look closer, there's a particularly high tide, but you can see it's actually off the ground, so it's only just covering the boat, the water is. And it's sat on the ground, where only on high tides it gets surrounded by water. And about 50 yards behind me, there's a chip shop. So Coral is sat in the van eating her chips, and I'm out playing then. And the sunset wasn't going to happen. This is into blue hour a little bit. That's why there's a bit of a hint of blue in it. And the mist was coming in again. But I've got beautiful sunset shots from this very location, and this is just so different. It's chalk and
I think
cheese,
with the blue
really.
hour shot on the blue boat, everything just blends together.
Just pops, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It really pops.
That one has worked well in black and white as well.
Yeah. There's a theme here.
There is. but I mean, this with the blue boat and the blue tones and everything, it's just,
Again, different,
From what you sent us, Nigel, this is totally different, is this?
I know, very different, But I was very pleased with it as well.
I think anyone who'd taken a shot like that, I think they would be pleased.
An old boat as well, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
Because that boat is basically 5 to 10 meters outside the car park. As a road 30 yards behind the boat. And like I said, chip shop on the corner and a pub.
So fish and chips in an image.
Yeah. That's a great thing. Some images you can really make, like nobody'd know where that is unless they know where it is. And it looks such a peaceful place. And yet you're 20, 30 yards off a main road.
You'd think it was like a little coastal village out middle of nowhere, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
With nothing nearby.
Yeah.
And this one, Nigel.
Oh, look at that. Trafan.
Well, you all know this location, and I was with Mike Woods. I know Big D knows Mike. He was up Beelan Valley with us a few years ago. Mike lives up in Birmingham, and this is the last time I was out with him, I believe. I may have done one trip after this. So this is early 2022. So about 6 months before I had a heart attack. So we had a weekend up there. We stayed in a campsite, which is just down on the Ogwen Valley Road. And it is something like £7 or £9 a night. It was great, just in a farmer's field, really. So we were right on the foot of Trevan there. That's Trevan in the back on the left-hand side. And we walked up this hill on the other side. I think the river's called the Avon Lleur. And Mike is further up because there's a better waterfall to capture further up the hill. But I knew if I came back down, because where you can see that slope leading out to the right-hand side in the back of the image, there's another mountain there, Pen yr Olwyn. And if I was further up, I couldn't have caught the sun in the image, and that's what I was looking for that day. So I came back down to this location. I still give a reasonable sort of leading line and things, and it's nice sometimes when your plan comes off, when you get the result you were hoping for.
I love a Sunstar, and when you sent this were and
this,
I know
this location here. There's so many compositions going up that hill.
Yeah, because there's a style, isn't there?
There's a days of photography.
It looks, that's further up the style, but it looks as if we're on the flat there almost, but it's a fair bit of a hike to get up to there.
I've been once many years ago.
Yeah, I've been twice, I think.
I don't love a Sunstar.
Yeah, it's
that's the sort of location
this a few times, haven't you, Nigel?
Struggle with. Yes, yeah. And I printed it because I'm doing Camera Club talks now on printing, and I do a live print during the evening as well. And I leave somebody have a quick look through what I've got on my Lightroom calendar, on my catalogue, on the laptop. And I leave them pick an image. I'll print it out live in the second half, and they can take it home then. So I think it's nicer to finish a print talk off with a print demonstration. And somebody, when this was printed off a couple of weeks ago, said, how did you put that Sunstar in? Is that Photoshop? I said, no, it's just narrow the aperture down and time it.
Because you don't get long, do you?
No.
For that, you get a few minutes.
It moves so quick. Yeah.
If that.
Yeah.
And Nigel, you are an ambassador, aren't you, as well? For Permajet.
Well, I done an exhibition back in June, and I've been since I had the heart attack. I had a sort of different sort of vision, something I never thought I'd do, my own printing. I thought while I was recovering at home, I'd learn to print because it can't be stressful.
I don't ask Daniel.
And about 3 months later, with lots of ink cartridges emptied and all the prints in the bin, I finally started to get to grips with it and enjoy it. And a lot of that was down to a guy who I found on YouTube, first of all, plus I've been to some of his print seminars, Glyn Dewis. He's an amazing teacher, and he simplifies the processes. And for printing, so I've been in a camera club for 6 years now, and the people in the camera club world sort of put me off printing because they made it sound just so complicated. And what I was doing in the first couple of months when I started, I was listening to too many people. And what I mean by that, everyone means good, and everything that people were saying was working for them. But if I was listening to 3 ideas now from Daniel, Darren and Big D on printing, and I tried putting it together, I'd make a complete cock up of it all. Because we all do things differently. There is no right and wrong way.
Exactly.
There's just different ways.
It's whatever works for you, isn't it, really?
And that's photography in general, I think.
Definitely, Daniel, and I think it's about realising that and sticking with it and just do little fine-tunings when you feel the need.
You've got to shoot for yourself, not to impress anybody else with this social media. You've got to shoot work for you. And if you like it, that's all that matters. That is all that matters.
Yes.
If everyone else gets benefit from it, that's a bonus. But you have to shoot for yourself.
That's a very important thing you said there, Daniel, because it took me probably... I've only been doing the landscapes is just over 6 years now, and it probably took me not for 4 years to get to that position where I remember in the early days in the club, a photo and I do take on board judges' critique and things, but what I do now is assess it myself and decide, well, do I want to do that to my image or don't I?
Yeah.
Because I got to the stage where I was tweaking images, and I didn't even like them myself in the
defeats
end.
the object.
It defeats the object. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is lovely. If anybody does want to know about printing, Nigel mentioned there Glyn Dewis. I mean, he's the guy I watched on printing, and he has got a proper print masterclass as such out, hasn't he, Nigel?
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a course which I can send you the link to. It is a little investment, but it's well worth it. There's over 7 hours of printing tuition covering all sorts: Epson, Canon, Photoshop, Lightroom, everything you can think of, really. And even though I'd followed Glyn for 2 years, I still purchased the course, and it's sort of reaffirmed for me what I'm doing is pretty good. I'm not 100% the same as what Glyn does. We have got slightly different preferences in settings, but that's fine. I'm printing and getting good results at slightly different, I think he uses a different Kelvin on the monitor calibration to what I use, but only marginally, you know.
I think that's the key as well. If you're going to print, calibrate your monitor.
Oh, yeah.
Get that monitor calibrated.
That's essential. And that side of it, it's even essential if you send off to a lab, because otherwise you don't really know what you're sending
even though
them.
the colour can be slightly off, it can have a slightly different tinge as well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Anyway, let's jump to the next one, because one of my favourite places is it.
Yeah, the Langdale
Bleed
Pikes.
Town.
I'm trying to think who was on that weekend with us.
I think
Big D. Yeah, 2021, June or July. Darren,
No, I
Laura,
wasn't
were you
here.
there?
I didn't have my van at this time.
You weren't on this one, right? Okay, because I broke down on the way here. Darren can probably remember that, because I was in a lay-by, and everyone missed the Friday night's sunset because they were too kind and they waited for me in the lay-by
like it was yesterday
for the recovery. I know. 2021 was, for me, my best year of photography. I had so many great trips at weekends. We finished off with the Scotland trip in end of October 2021, and it was just magical. Things went a little bit the other way towards the end of 2022, and I had a heart attack and had to slow down a bit. But I promise you, I will crash a Photopeeps weekend in the near future.
Well, I think what we'll have to do, Nigel, is we'll have to arrange a Photopeeps meet-up in Wales for you.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
That'll be fantastic.
So, but one of my favourite places. And us three have just literally been here as well.
Yeah.
We've gone up. See that peak on your right-hand side before the Langdales, Nigel? Side Pike.
Yeah.
I took... we took Daniel up there through Fat Man's Agony, it's called. If you want to find...
Did you get up the top?
Oh, yes, we've got the top. But if you want to see what happens at Fat Man's Agony, you'll have to tune in to Daniel's and mine's channels, because them videos will be coming up in the near future.
Mine's actually up now.
Yours out now?
Right.
Yeah, mine's out. Mine's out now, yeah.
So, yeah. But, I mean, Bleed Time, when you get conditions like this, and that light you've got...
What a stunning location. Yeah. It was a beautiful morning, and what I'd like to do if I went back there is, there's a river just across the way and waterfalls.
Yes,
I think when we were doing weekends up there, we were trying to cram in so many locations in a weekend. We weren't making the most of one location.
I've felt that. I always do that, I think. Always do that.
Yeah, it's easily done, especially when you've driven 6 hours like it was to get up there. Yeah.
And that's a mirror reflection, is that is.
I mean, again, I'm just looking at the rocks and the reflections towards the trees there on the left-hand third. That separation again, that just stands out again.
Yeah.
So something as small as that really does just finish an image off, I think.
Well, at this stage, 2021 was when I was starting to assess images better when I was taking them. Because my first shot at this location, the rocks were going into reflection. And I was fortunate, I realised it by having a look on the back of the camera and thought, oh, right, that needs a bit of
step
adjusting. And only adjusting the height of the tripod, that's all.
Yeah,
It's
just
amazing
step
to
back and just have a look.
Yeah, it's amazing to what a couple of inches on your tripod can achieve.
Well, a couple of inches can make a big difference anyway, can't it?
The next one, this one, Nigel.
Look at them lights. Look at that light.
Right.
I know you normally do seascapes, but this is just, it is like a magical place, this. I mean, them
Ethereal.
Well, this one, 2022, this was Blaen Glyn Waterfalls, and within a couple of miles walk, they're not the most dynamic and big waterfalls. Some of them are small cascades, but there's about 8 or 9 of them in a 1 or 2 mile walk. And I went up here. John Scriven took me up there. I know Darren knows John. I'm not sure who else knows him, but he's from Caerphilly near Cardiff. And we got out after meeting for the first time I met Darren as well, was in the Elan Valley in April 2021. And that was a fantastic weekend from -5 degrees on the first morning and freezing mist and things, but we had a great weekend up there. And me and John have been out quite a few times since then.
But
I just like that, the sunlight, that light coming through there.
Yeah, it's in the Brecon Beacons, that is, and it's stunning place.
When you get the sun coming through like that and it hits the spray, it just looks magical, really does.
That's another thing I do love as well, waterfall photography. I do enjoy it,
Oh, nice. And you mentioned Scotland, Nigel. We had to put this one in from you.
Yeah, well, that was a fantastic trip. I think we all had such a great time in the worst of weather for 9 days. It was a result because me and Corley 9 nights together in a transit van. We didn't know if we could come home or not. But, it was a fantastic time, great time, great memories, and for the rest of my days, I'll always remember.
That's what images do, don't they? They bring back memories from the past that we do.
Yeah.
Special to you.
I'm actually under that little wooden bridge by here because it's raining quite heavy there. That was on the morning. Me and Martin Hagadukovic, he came down here with me, and the rest of you went up the hill.
I think it was a bit more of a mountain, wasn't it, for sunrise?
Oh, yeah.
But it was, we had to end with this one. This is just for the memories.
Yeah, superb memories. Thank you for sharing them, Darren.
Thanks for sending them in.
What are you shooting with now, Nigel? Am I right? You say you've moved up to a medium format?
Well, yeah. I've had it about a year now. I'm on the GFX. I've still kept one of my Canon bodies, and I'm sitting on both systems at the moment because the Canon can do everything. The Fuji is superb at the landscapes, and it probably would be for portraits as well. But if you wanted to catch wildlife or sport or something like that, it's not the camera for that. Also, it's heavy. It is heavy. It's like the old DSLR full frames, It's a chunk, and the lenses are bigger as well.
We know about that, don't we, Big D? Because we mentioned Fat Man's Agony before. He passes his bag going through Fat Man's Agony, and it wasn't the kitchen sink. It was a full 3-story flat or something in bag.
That's why I'm built like I am. I mean, that bag everywhere.
That's just the food he carries.
No, there were no food.
Oh, not in that one. So I enjoying the Fuji then, Nigel, the medium format side.
For what I do, 99% of the time, it's fantastic. The weight, I do struggle carrying it around a bit. I've got three lenses. Sometimes I'll only take 2. Sometimes I'll take the 3. The kit lens is nice and light, 35 to 70. I've got the wide angle 20 to 35, which is similar to like a 16 to 28 in full frame. and that is sort of the size of like a typical Canon or Nikon 24-105. It's a chunk. It's a chunk of a lens, and I've got the 100 to 200 as well, which is like an 80 to 160, and that's quite a heavy lens as well. That's the one that stays behind if I don't feel like carrying it. You lose the range you get to without carrying more and more stuff. You lose the range you get in full frame or crop sensor. Like, you can take your 24-105 and 100 to 400, and you've got everything.
Yeah. But you'll gain that on a bit more quality, won't you, with the...
It is marginal, Darren. I'd say the files are easier to work with, I think. I think I need to do less editing with the Fuji files. Not that I do a lot of editing anyway. I'm quite lazy in that sense. I'm about 2 to 5 minutes and it's done.
Yeah. That's the mark of a good image, is that?
Yeah, well, thank you. But yeah, I'd say the easier files to work on, and the latitude, from the shadows and the highlights, you have got more to play with as well.
Right.
But
more workability.
I went to Venice on a trip back in July, 3 or 4 days, and I took my Canon gear because the weight really, and on a few outings in the month before, I thought I'd better take a Canon out to get back used to it. And there's barely any notice. You might notice it if you do a very large print for a wall,
Yeah.
But it's marginal.
Oh, nice.
It's a beautiful camera to use, though.
Yeah. I must admit, Daniel, you use the XT2, don't you, all the time?
Fuji, yeah. I just with the Fuji system, the colours pop so much. They really, really do. But I know, like when you say there, like you said, Ford does about doing a lot of it, doing a little editing. I know you, Big D, you do everything as much as you can in camera, don't you?
Everything, yeah.
Everything, your colours. So again, very, very minimal editing.
Yeah.
And I think that's key.
It's for me because 2 years or so ago, I bought the magnetic circular filters, yeah.
All right, yeah.
And I was getting into the habit of bracketing almost everything. I've gone back to the square format filters, and I like trying to capture it in one image if I can. Dropping that grad filter in and actually seeing a bit of detail coming back in the sky. So the only time I'll bracket now is if my histogram is still throwing out on both ends after the grad's gone in. So you more or less got to then.
I'm the same, Nigel. I used to have the Lee filter system, the square ones, and because I broke the polarizer and the 6-stop, Daz gave me the what were they?
The Freewell ones.
Freewell ones, weren't they? Yeah. And I use them all the time now, but I do miss putting that grad in.
Yeah. So it's something some people laugh when I tell them, but when you put it in and the detail comes back in the clouds and things, you can see the finished image when you're taking it. Really, yeah.
So on that subject, actually, when you're on location, do you envisage how you want that image to look after edit, or do you just?
Pretty much so. Even my long exposures, I'm pretty not far off guessing the movement in the water and things like that,
And the highlights and the colours. Do you have an idea of what you want it to look like on location?
Yeah, pretty much so. I wouldn't say the end result never looks different because sometimes it does. But it's the concept of it isn't far off what I envisioned at the time.
Yeah.
When you talk about then, Nigel, let me get this right. This one here, this puffin, we were there when I took that, and I took that image wanting that effect.
Yeah.
It was on a dark rock background.
Brilliant.
So like you were on that location there, and then you knew that you wanted that dark background.
I knew I wanted that. sort of like an not an ethereal look, but like a fine art effect, but with a dark background.
Yeah.
So when I saw that against the dark rocks,
got it.
Was that up on the Northumberland coast? Was it?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
on island, and that was something else with that.
yeah.
Because what's that island by you, Nigel? There's down in Wales where the puffins and stuff go.
Skomer Island, where the puffins are. Yeah, I know the boat trips for next year. The bookings are open now. I haven't been there. I haven't been there yet, so I may look into that.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the landing at the Farne Island, it blew us away. Really did. And if Skomer Island's anything like that, then you will be in for a field day if you're going to do that.
Yeah.
Because it's normally the puffin season, if you want to call it that, is around about June, July, isn't it?
Yeah, I think end of May till sometime in July, I think, yeah.
I mean, like I said earlier, Daz, we could maybe try and arrange a meet-up down at Wales.
Yeah.
You know, it's what, 7 months from now, so a bit of time for planning.
Yeah,
something's worth thinking about.
Well, down there as well, I've got a place down there now where we stay in the camper van. It's on a little village, sports and social cricket field. But they've got a club there where it's £10 a night. They give you a key for the toilet and the shower. There's a bar open if you're down there on the weekends and things, if you want to drink or even a coffee or something.
Photography, beer, friends, that's it. That's all you need.
You cross the field, as in 200 yards, you're on the coastal path. It's absolutely brilliant. And it's about 4 or 5 miles from where you catch the boat to Skomer.
Oh, nice.
So if you want a weekend, I can get on to them, and if you got rough numbers, I'll ask them, is it okay if 10 photographers turn up for a weekend or whatever?
Yeah. So there you go. What's your top tip then, Nigel, for our watchers and listeners? What?
Top tip? Oh, that's a hard one, but I haven't got one really on technique or anything like that, because for everyone, if you find a way it works for you, stick to it. That's one thing I'd say. But the most important thing for me and my top tip, make sure you keep enjoying it.
Yeah.
If you stop enjoying it, take a little break and start with a fresh start. And one more, give printing a go, because I didn't get it a few years ago, but I've turned into a bit of a geek where I'm holding the paper now and thinking, the texture, the weight of the paper, things I used to laugh about before, but I'm saying it myself now. No, it is special holding a print here.
So, what's your favourite paper to print on then, Nigel?
I've got two, but I think Edginator's number one is the Permajet Photo Art Silk 290, followed closely by the Heritage Brighter Rag 310.
Right.
I'd say most of my black and whites are on the Brighter.
Yeah.
And most of my colours are on the Photo Art Silk.
Right.
It has a very slight little texture through it. And you don't even notice it when it's a plain sheet of paper, but when you've printed on it, the little silk sheen that's on it comes alive.
Yeah.
And it probably works best, in my view, on waterfalls and woodlands and things like that.
Yeah.
Where you move it in the light and it's almost like a 3D effect going through the mossy rocks and the trees and things. Yeah. It's wonderful.
So what's your favourite, Daz?
I do like the I've just gone to the Oyster 271 on A2.
That's a great all-round paper, that is.
Just because I don't like a lot of gloss on it. I like sort of a luster semi-gloss effect. Mm. And these two here, these are both on the luster.
I'll tell you a Permajet paper that really surprised me. It's probably the cheapest one in their range, which is a Matte Plus 240. And it prints amazingly well. If you like a smooth matte finish, it prints beautifully. The tonal gradations through it and things is just stunning, and that's probably the cheapest paper.
Oh, nice. The
Yeah.
one I do like as well for woodland, is it the portrait white?
Yes, yes.
It's got a lovely texture to that.
Yeah.
Really has. And for woodland, for the big tree barks and stuff like that, it really does bring that out.
I don't know what you found, Darren, but with the textured paper, I find it doesn't work as good if you print small, like A4, compared to if you go up in size to A2 or something,
Yeah.
because it's more condensed on an A4 sheet, if you know what I mean, because the image is spread out on A2, so
Yeah.
the texture doesn't dominate so much.
Yeah. Well, I've only just moved up to A2 now.
Yeah, yeah. You got the new Epson now, haven't you?
I've got the Epson, the P900. Yeah.
Nice.
It were
Nice.
nice in the Black Friday sale. So that's all I'm saying. I can't say how much. There's ears next door.
That's the thing, as photographers, we only say how much we save, not how much we spend.
That's exactly what I did.
The cat's out the bag now, Nigel. The cat's out the bag now. You've just exposed us all.
No.
And saying that tongue in cheek, we do normally say how much we saved and things. Can I buy it now because it's £200 off?
Yeah.
But when I bought the GFX, as you can imagine, that was a massive investment. And Coralie said to me, I asked her, can I buy it? Because there was about £900 off it when I bought it.
Right.
So there's significant savings. And I'd seen the same deal about 6 months before. And I said, no, I can't justify that. But then the deal came up 6 months later. And she said, do you need a new camera? And I said, no, I don't. I just fancy it. And she said, if you fancy it, buy it. And before I could get logged on, I'd ordered it, and it is on its way in 2 minutes. Yeah.
You only live once, Nigel.
You're right there. You're right there. And I'm slowly trying to live my life again, Darren. Because it's times aren't easy. You know, I've been quite jovial on you tonight and things because I'm talking to friends, like, you know, but I can be stuck in a house, stuck in the same chair for days on end when things were very bad, you know. And if you don't mind me touching on the mental health side of it for a minute, because one day, 2015, I had a good job. I was traveling the country with work. I was, if proud's the right word, quite proud of the job I had and keeping the family well looked after and things. And the next day, I was a broken man. And it went from bad to worse. And I was embarrassed about it, highly embarrassed. And I think a lot of men are. And slowly through my photography, I've opened up and I share a lot about it. I've got one talk in camera clubs which is about the journey through mental health, more so than the photographs, really, because it really has become a therapy. And I know in every club, because you get messages after it's touched somebody's life. They may have been through a difficult time. And what I said hasn't got to be mental health, but everyone goes through difficult times in their life at some stage, whatever it is. Everyone does. So the more we can be open and share it and let people know you're not alone in your struggles, everyone goes through it. And what helps me mostly now, because I've had a couple of bad weeks lately, nothing like it was a few years ago to that extent, but I know where I was going down a slippery slope. And acceptance and gratitude is what really helps me. Accepting, right, today is going to be one of them days. Hopefully tomorrow will be a new day, a new start.
Yeah, yeah.
Tomorrow isn't always a good day, but let's deal with tomorrow when it comes. And gratitude, you know, I had been, why me, why am I feeling like this, you know, because I had so much love in my family. You know, we've got 5 grandchildren now. At the time, we only had one, and my son's the great boys. Corley's amazing way, and she's been through the mill, living with somebody with severe mental health issues as well. Because the medication in the early days, I was just staring at the wall for weeks on end, and she was talking to me, and I couldn't really hear her. It was sort of going in, and so yeah, it's hard, but it's also hard for the people who are in your life with you as well.
Yeah.
But also, I think that saved me as well, because I was under the local mental health clinic for 5 years, and there were some people you'd see in the waiting room there. They didn't have a family to go home to. They went home on their own. And, at least I could come home and I could talk to my wife. I could talk to my kids. Some people who only got themselves to go home to, I wouldn't like to even think if I had to cope through that sort of situation.
Yeah.
So now I feel grateful for everything I have got in life, not what I haven't got. Because there's always people worse off than us. And, I'm fortunate now, I can still drive. I can't walk up mountains, but I can get on the beaches and do reasonable walks. It's not as if I can't walk anywhere. And I got nice camera gear. I got some good photography friends. So it's so much to be grateful for in life as well.
No, well said. Well said.
I think we're grateful for you for telling everyone what you've been through and everything else. No, I know we've had a chat privately before now.
Yeah, and I'm glad you told me that I can speak about it, Darren, because
definitely.
It is my main. It's more important to share that than share my photos, to be honest with you.
It's a big thing.
It is, like you said before, Nigel. With all men, it's that macho feeling. I can't talk about it. I can't. Well, why can't you? Why can't you talk about it? That's like, without being too, I don't want to plug in our groups, man, and Darren's groups, but with the groups, you join the groups and you meet like-minded friends and fellow photographers, and you get to meet them all. I mean, we haven't actually physically met, but we talk like we've known each other for years. And that's through social media and stuff like that. But
and with the two Darrens, like Darren Morehouse, it was like a family in Scotland, wasn't it? So we had 9 days of that. So we really bonded over that time.
Yeah.
And I met Darren another time up in the Peak District.
We did. Yeah, went up Mount Thorn, didn't we?
Big D. We've done a few trips: North Wales, Scotland, Elan Valley. And it's what to me true friends are. I haven't spoken to Big D for probably a year and a half, but it doesn't matter.
No.
If he wanted to have a chat, he could phone me anytime.
Yeah.
Same, we've often had a chat, Darren, isn't it?
Yeah, we have, yeah.
And that's what true friendship is. Not, where the hell have you been for 2 months? I haven't heard from you. It's being there when somebody needs you.
Yeah, definitely.
100%. Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'm sure we could put the link for the mental health group Mind, was it, Nigel? Was it Mind?
Yes. What happens with the book? It's as a blurb link. You buy it through Blurb, and what I do, because it's not selling much, every 12 months I check what's come in from it and send it off to the local Mind group. And I have been selling my Christmas calendars for Mind as well. But 2 years ago, I done it for the cardiac unit in Morrison Hospital, where I was after the heart attack. And this year again, they basically saved a friend of mine's life a couple of months ago. So I'm doing it for them again this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's good to give back a little bit as well.
But yeah, no, thank you very much, Nigel. It's been an insight into mental health and how photography's helped you and how it can help everyone else as well by just
of course
opening up and talking basically into it. It's just...
And thank you all so much for inviting me on as well. It's a real honour to come on your little podcast with you. So I'm truly grateful. Thank you.
No, thank you, Nigel. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for your time.
And what we'll do, Nigel did send us quite a few more images. So what we'll do, we'll end up with a nice montage at the end of all all Nigel's images. And if you do want to purchase an image or anything, we'll leave a contact link for Nigel below, as well as the book for the mind. And yeah, so thank you very much, Nigel.
Thank you all very much. And Daniel, nice to meet you for the first time too.
So, Nigel, thanks for your time.
And I will get Crash next year. If you don't come down Wales, I'll come and find you.
Well, we'll have to do two then, won't we? We'll have to do one down in Wales and one, I don't know.
I remember, I think it was a Big D. We met up in North Wales, and it was taking me 4 hours to get up to North Wales from South Wales. And I think you came over from Yorkshire in about an hour and a half or something.
Yeah. That's with his foot flat to the floor, I bet.
Sure, I'll pass across at some point, Nigel.
Yes, I hope so. But
yeah.
Keep in touch anyway, Daniel.
So what we'll do, we'll have to get a campsite sorted and I'll go down.
Yes, well, it'd be awesome. Like on an Easter, or well, it doesn't matter when it is, but if you can make a long weekend of it, it'll make the travel worthwhile then as well.
I come from North Cumbria, so it has to be Friday to Monday for me.
Yeah,
that's be a long weekend for me. Make it, like I say, make it worthwhile. So yeah, keep an eye on the groups. Could be a meet up in Gatecrash in Wales.
Yes, and I'm more than happy if you do want to do that, helping out with organising it. Yeah.
Oh, nice one. Yeah. Thank you very much, Nigel. Yeah, and once again, thank you for coming on. And if you've enjoyed this, everyone, please give the old thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing, because it don't cost out to subscribe, does it?
It's free.
So
it's free.
It just might cost you a buck, which is a link in the description below. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you all on the next one.
Cheers, guys. Thanks a lot.
Right.
Bye.